Hello viewers, welcome to this video tutorial series on Python programming. In this video lesson, we are going to learn about strings in Python. We will first start with defining a string. Then we will solve some examples on indexing and slicing in strings. Then we'll see some Python built-in functions on strings. And at the end, we'll see some interesting string methods for string manipulation. Strings are defined as a collection of characters stored in an indexed order. Strings are always enclosed in a pair of single quotes or double quotes. Strings are immutable. Immutable means once a string is created, it cannot be modified. Now let us try to define a string. An empty string is always defined by a pair of single quotes or a double quote. We can add text, elements, special symbols or numbers inside a pair of single quotes or double quotes and make it a string. Here is an example of string object. The next problem says that write a program to accept a word as an input from user. So we will try to enter a word, aeroplane. And now if I want to find the number of elements in my word, I can use the Python built-in function length and pass our string object word, and here we get 9. So there are 9 characters in our word aeroplane. Strings are ordered sequences, which means that they store the elements in an indexed fashion. Now for all the sequences who store the elements in indexed fashion or indexed order, indexing and slicing are the two main operations which we can perform on these kind of sequences. Let us look at indexing over here. Indexing on strings. It says that each item in an ordered sequence corresponds to an index number, which is an integer value starting with index value 0. So here we have a string object aeroplane, and this characters in this string are stored in this way. First character at location 0, second at 1, third at 2, and so on. Based on this indexing concept, we can obtain the elements from our ordered sequence like strings. So here if I want to fetch the first element, of course it will be at index location 0. So when I say string square bracket 0, so here is my index value being passed and the value at that particular index is returned. If I want to fetch the third element from our string, or the element at third index 3. So here it will give me the element fourth element, not the third element, index 3. If I want to fetch the third element, I will have to write string square bracket 2, and here I'll get the third element, that is R, from our string. Same way, if I want to fetch the last element from the string, then in that case the most simplest way is find the length of the string, and then with that with the help of the number of elements you can find the last element. But Python supports another type of indexing called as reverse indexing. Using the concept of reverse indexing, we can assign the negative indexes to our ordered sequence like strings. Last element goes at -1 position, second last at -2, third last at -3, and so on. So to fetch the last element from the string, we can simply write string -1 and we get the last element from our string. Now using indexing, we were able to fetch single element from our strings. Now what if we want to fetch a substring belonging to a sequence of index locations? Like for example, fetch first 3 elements from a string or fetch first 5 elements from a string. So in that case we can use slicing. Slicing is generally performed by a slicing operator called as colon. Slicing in strings can be performed like this. We have to mention the start point, the stop point, and the step count. The default value for step count is always 1. So let us see some example over here. Here we are writing the start point as 0, end point as 3. So starting from index 0 to 3 we are trying to traverse. Here no step count is mentioned, so by default the step count is 1. So it will go from 0, 1, 2. The last element will not be considered. So here we are fetching the first 3 elements by mentioning 0, 3. If we want to fetch the elements at location 3 to 5, we can write like this: 3, 6. This is how we can fetch the elements from index location 3 to 5. And that's why we get O, P and L. One last example. Let us try to fetch last 4 elements from the string. So we have seen the reverse indexing. So here we can mention here -4 colon. Now since nothing has been mentioned after the colon operator, it goes till the end of the string. If I write something like this, string -4 colon -1, then it will fetch only the 3 elements LAN, and this last E will not be fetched. So we won't write anything over here. We'll keep this place as blank, and that's we get the last 4 characters LANE starting from index location -4. Let us now look at some of the basic operations on strings like concatenation, repetition, membership, iteration, etc. So here we have a string Mississippi, and now we are trying to fetch the first 5 characters, that is up till MISSI using slicing, and then we are trying to concatenate with NG, and let us see what is the resulting string. So here we have fetched the first 5 characters and we have concatenated 2 new string characters, that is NG, and we get a new string missing. So this is an example on concatenation, how you can concatenate 2 strings. Repetition. Repetition creates a new string by repeating the characters. Membership operator checks whether a particular string or substring is present in our string or not. So SS is present, so it gives me true. Iteration operation is performed on all the sequences. It can be strings, lists, tuples, any type of sequence. So here we can apply iteration on our strings. Let us try to print the elements. Here the special parameter called as end parameter is assign the value space. So by default the end will always print the elements on new line characters, on new lines. A new line character is always inserted at the end of the print statement. So here we are manipulating the default functionality of print function by changing the value of end to space. Python has a huge collection of string methods. Let us see them one by one. Here we have a string Mississippi, and we have some methods like upper, lower, title. They are for case conversion. Upper will convert all the characters to uppercase, lower will convert to lowercase, title will make the first character as capital and rest all will be lowercase, and so on. Capitalize basically used when we are working with sentences. It will capitalize the first character of each word from a sentence, so on. There are another set of methods called as Boolean methods, which check whether a particular condition is met or not, and it will return a Boolean result, like is alpha. So our string has all the alpha characters, so it is giving us true. Is digit, of course it will return me false because there are no digits, or the string does not comprise of digits, so it is giving me false. This method is best applicable when we are working with integer inputs and we want to validate whether the input is correct or not. Then there are some methods for string manipulation basically. So like replace. This example we are trying to replace all the I characters with a star. Then here is another string, Mary goes to school. There is a method called as split. Using this split method we can split a string based on a particular character. It can be anything. Here we have used a space. Now split method will split the string based on the delimiter and create a list of all the elements after splitting. Now there is another method called as join. This is an interesting method. It is called on a delimiter, so this is basically a delimiter, and it will always take a sequence of string objects and it will join all the elements from the string object using the delimiter. Then we have another method called as strip. Strip will help you to remove the white spaces at the start and end of the string, and not just white spaces, you can remove any type of characters from the start and end of the string. Like for example, here we have a dollar at the end of the string, so using strip it is removing the dollar characters from the start and end of the string. Then the index method returns the index of first occurrence of S in our string. So here our string is Mary goes to school, so S is occurring at location 8 over here. Then the second method count, it counts the number of occurrences of the character, so S is occurring 2 times in this string, so we should get the result as 2. Then find method finds the first occurrence of a particular character. It will return its index position, and if the character is not present in the string, it will return -1. So here S is present at the 8th position, so since S is present in the string, it is returning me 8 as its first index position. And in the next example, you can see here X we are trying to find, and X is not present in our string, so it is returning us -1. Let us have a quick revision on what we learned in this video. We started with defining strings in Python. Strings are a collection of characters stored in ordered sequence. They are enclosed in a pair of single quotes or double quotes. Strings are immutable, which means we cannot modify a string once it is created. Then we saw indexing and slicing in strings. We saw some built-in functions like length, max, min, sorted, reversed. We also saw some string operations like concatenation, repetition, iteration, membership, etc. Then we learned some string methods like case conversion methods like uppercase, lowercase, title case, etc. We saw some Boolean methods like isDigit, isLower, isSpace, isAlpha. Some more string manipulation methods like split, join, replace, index, count, and so on. If you are interested in solving some more examples on strings, or you wish to refer the PDF version of the examples discussed in this video, you can drop me an email or a message. Thanks for watching it. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Till then, happy coding.